Alright guys, we're back. It's not our usual Monday broadcast, but I came up with this red velvet sugar cookie. It's my regular no chill, no spread, and it's amazing. So I wanted to go ahead and do a broadcast and show you guys. I'm going to do it a little different this time, just so you guys can actually see how I measure everything like that. And as always, after the broadcast, the link to the recipe will be up. Alright, so we're going to start with 2 sticks of butter. Cool butter. Definitely do not want room temperature butter here. This is part of our trick for no chill. And this is unsalted butter. That does matter. Alright, and then we're going to add in 1 cup of sugar. Alright. We are going to turn this on low with our paddle just until it comes together. Alright, that's good. Then I have a cold egg. So that's our 1 egg. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And 1 tablespoon of a red velvet emulsion. This is Loran's. You can get it at pretty much any store, Walmart, hobby, like craft stores, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Alright, 1 tablespoon of that going in. I want to get all that off there. Then we are going to add 1/2 teaspoon of vinegar. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna turn this back on just till it's incorporated. Grab a spatula and just get this butter off of here so it can mix in there too. And that's pretty good. Yes, there are still some little chunks of butter. That's totally fine. Now we're going to use our Hershey's Natural Unsweetened Cocoa. And we're going to add in 1/4 cup. Right in there. And then 3 cups of flour. Here's how I measure my flour. This matters. You're just going to fluff it up a little, and this is why I use a big container. Get you a cup, and then level it off. That's it. We're going to do 3 of those. And I spilt some, but that's okay. That's exactly how I measure my flour every single time. Alright, I'm going to turn this back on low, and just until it comes together. Alright, you can see it started to clean the sides of the bowl and started clumping together. It's not sticking to my fingers. That's what is still sticky. You can add a little bit of flour to it, but I would suggest like 1/4 of a cup. But really, I've made this a few times now, and 3 cups has been fine. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, just like always, I've got my slats here that I roll on 3/8 of an inch. The only thing different with this recipe is I don't sprinkle flour super often. With this one I do. You don't have to worry about it leaving, you know, little white spots on your dough. What does the vinegar do? It interacts with the cocoa powder and gives you, it also gives you that kind of tangy taste that a traditional red velvet cake has. If you've ever made a scratch red velvet cake, you probably, well, I would hope that you had put vinegar in it. I did that for these cookies, so they really do get that little tangy bite in there. Alright, so, like I said, I am going to sprinkle some flour to roll this on. Also going to get me some flour to dip my cookie cutter in. And like I said, it's not going to leave any white marks on your finished cookies. You're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in here today. Alright, so I'm just going to take half of this dough to start with. I'm going to kind of squeeze it together. I'm going to sprinkle a little more flour on here. I'm going to roll this out. And this is an old wooden rolling pin, and I just washed it. And it hasn't fully dried yet, so you may not need as much flour as what I'm using. Alright. So now, I'm going to cut these out. I have preheated my oven to 325. And this dough, if you've made my original cookie dough, my vanilla, this dough is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit stickier than that dough, but it is still no chill, no spread. It's still going to work just like that one is. All right. I'm just using these little cookie sheets today. And this is just, on these sheets, this is just a silicone baking mat. If you don't want to continuously spend money on parchment paper, that's a great little investment there. And you can get any brand. These are Steel Pat, but any silicone baking mat will work. I'm going to dust a little bit of that extra flour off, but that will go away when it bakes. All right, I'm going to put these in the oven for 12 minutes. And I'm going to roll out a few more of these. So, the Music Mama, do you bake a lot? And if so, what do you enjoy baking the most? Dad. No, I don't, buddy. All right, I'll load up this other pan here. You just recently got into cookies. Made a few, even got to gift some. Awesome. It's kind of an addictive thing to get into. I never really planned to get into it. I do cake, or I started in cakes. That's what I... Oh, okay. Awesome. Yes, sugar cookies, you'll find, are like a rabbit hole. It just never ends. I'm glad I was able to get these done for you, especially before the holidays. And you can use regular. Cakes will be my next adventure. So if you need any help with that, that's what I really love to do. Cookies are fun though, but I could spend months on end on one cake and be totally happy with it. All right, so let's see. I'll get these on this pan. Oh, I was talking about the royal icing for these. You can use a regular, just the vanilla royal icing, and it's delicious. Or you can add, like, with my royal icing recipe, which I'll post below this live after it gets done, you can omit the vanilla and use a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of cream cheese extract or emulsion, and that just tastes amazing with these, because we all know the red velvet and cream cheese is like a classic flavor. I mean, you can even eat these plain. I ate one plain testing these, and it was delicious. They stay soft in the middle, but they do also stay very sturdy to hold up to a royal or decorations or whatever you're doing with them. And I'll show you in a minute what they look like. Let's see. Got 7 minutes on that one. While we're waiting on those, I'll show you. These are some that I did earlier, and they stay pretty much the same color. And then they hold their shape really well. I am honestly not a big fan of this cutter, but I wanted to use it to show that this really doesn't spread out. It's awesome. And then this is what the inside looks like. They're still, like I said, they're really soft on the inside. They're really good. It is like a red velvet cake in cookie form. Alright, I'm going to keep cutting these shapes out while these other ones are in the oven. I'm also not a fan of how shallow this cutter is. Alright, these are going to set to the side. And this recipe can be easily doubled. Having it might be difficult because it does have one egg in it. If you do need to have this and you just want to make like a small batch of cookies, the best way to have a any recipe that has one egg, usually you just take the egg, break it into a bowl, whisk it up, and then use half of it. The rest of this recipe breaks down pretty easy because it's got the pretty even measurements. Oh, no problem. I really enjoy it, and I do try to be as thorough as possible and make sure that the recipes are as successful as they can be. And that's why I do these lives too. I'll troubleshoot, answer questions, any of that. I want to show you guys that I'm using my own recipe. I'm not changing anything. I'm not doing anything extra that I'm not putting in the recipe. There's no photo magic happening. It is all exactly how I write it up or do the video for. I know some of these recipes that I've been doing videos for haven't gotten the detailed pictures like the other recipes on my site, but I feel like a video might even be better than pictures. Happy to help. This is also a good dough that you can rework it several times and the whole batch still comes out good. You don't get any weird cookies at the end. And this is a fairly small cutter, so I'm sure it looks like I'm getting a ton of cookies out of this one batch. But this cutter is slightly smaller than 2 inches. And I've gotten, let's see, there's 6, 12, 15. I might get 27 or 28 2-inch cookies out of this recipe. So if you're using a bigger cutter, you might get a few more than a dozen. But like I said, you can double this recipe very easily. And if you have any other flavor suggestions that you would like me to do, I am more than happy. I love a good challenge. Monday, I do plan to do the Christmas funfetti sugar cookies. Carrot cake flavor. There you go. That is an amazing challenge. That one might take me a little bit of time, but I bet it would be delicious. I love carrot cake. I'll start working on that one. I like that idea. All right, I ended up with this little tiny piece of dough there. All right, got about a minute and a half left for these to come out so I can show you how they did. Clean off my counter here. And I'm going to do a couple of just simple wet on wet, couple of simple wet on wet Christmassy designs. And I have sprinkles. Who doesn't love a good sprinkle? Basically, watching for these, 12 minutes has been pretty good so far while I've been testing these. You really just want to watch so that they don't look wet in the middle anymore. Like right there in the middle of them, they'll still look a little damp. And if they do, give it another minute. That look will go away. And that'll be when you want to pull them out. Where'd that plate go? These are a few of the designs that I'm going to show you. I loved the little sprinkle one, and you can put more sprinkles. I couldn't decide what color to do. Let's see. Those look good. Stick this other one in here, and I'll show you those. And it's hot. So, I just pulled these out. You do want to let these cool on the pan for at least 5 minutes, because if you try to move them now, they're really soft right now. So you want to let them set for a few minutes. Butter bleed problems. My best tip on butter bleed is if you can bake your cookies on one day, like I try to bake on Wednesday. If I have a Saturday order, I'll bake my cookies on a Wednesday and then let them set overnight, like in a big container, on a layer of paper towels. Just one layer of paper towels. I usually do a layer of parchment paper, paper towel, and then the cookies. And I'll layer them like that. Probably eat them all before getting to decorate. Thank you. And they're good without anything on them. So you can eat them that way. But yes, I just layer them like that. If you don't have time to wait, you can just, like once they're cool, decorate them while they're on a paper towel. And if you don't want to waste paper towels because you'll go through a ton of them, you can use a terry cloth towel. Like, get you a terry cloth towel that you only use for your cookies. Don't use one that you're using on you. But especially if you're selling cookies. But yes, terry cloth towels work great, and you can wash it, reuse it. It will absorb that butter into the towel instead of into your royal icing. And then also, while they're drying, like once you put your royal and you let it set overnight, let it set on a new layer of paper towels. And that, like I said, that's eliminated butter bleed for me. Let's see. I'll show you because these cookies do on the this is the bottom. It will still look a little bit darker, and right in the middle on some of them will look kind of wet, but it'll be solid. These aren't, I mean, I don't know if you can even hear that, but they are solid, but they will be soft in the middle when you go to eat it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and decorate a few of these. So I have my royal already ready. This is AmeriColor Mint Green, and this is just the last little bit of all of my red. I had some AmeriColor Red and Wilton Taste Free Red. And obviously it wasn't a whole lot because that's not as red as I would like it to be. Oh, let's see. These are my already cooled ones from earlier. And I've got some toothpicks. If you have a scribe, scribes are great, but a toothpick works just as well. And this is also about a 15-second consistency royal icing. I like to flood with it and outline with it because you can eliminate that outline line. But I just go right by the edge. And then come back in. And do the whole thing. And I just take a toothpick, even it out, any little gaps. Give it a little shake. That's your basic flooded cookie. You can take your red. And this does not have to be perfect. That is one thing I love about this wet on wet technique is there's plenty of room for mistakes. You're going to go move these lines around anyways, so it does not have to be perfect. Now if you wanted to keep that just red and green, go one way, leaving a little bit of space in there. Turn it around and bring it the other way. And then just give it a little shake. And you have a cute little easy decoration there. It's Christmassy. And it looks cute. I'll grab another one. Do some sprinkles. I have another little sprinkle set over here that I wanted to use. This is just white royal. And this actually, because this cookie is so red and this white royal icing, it would probably look good just to leave it like that. It's a nice color contrast. That would look really pretty sitting out on a platter. I have these blue and then this like red, green, and blue mix. Let's try this red, green, and blue one. And I'm actually going to do this over my tray over here because I don't want to be cleaning this up for the next 2 years. And there you have your sprinkles on there. Another way to do the sprinkles would be to pour some onto a plate that has a lip on it, and then take your cookie and dip it onto the sprinkles, and that's gonna like completely cover that. And if you want me to show you one, let's do this round one here. I'll show you what that would look like. This was just a round one I did earlier. So what you can do, I might not do. I'll try that one. Just a nice little layer of sprinkles in there. Take your cookie. This is another advantage of a thicker cookie, is you have something to hold on to. Then you have a full sprinkle covered cookie. And the other design I did was the little swirl. I'm going to show you that one real quick. And if you guys have any more questions, my chat is gone. My chat box is gone. Sorry if you guys are chatting. Can't see it right now. Just a second. I am going to go ahead and show you how I did this swirl on here though. All right. I go for 3/8 of an inch because I prefer the cookies to be a little softer. I don't know. My first experience with sugar cookies were those really hard, crispy, not really any good flavor going on cookies. And where I am, that's how I hear them described. You know, you tell people about sugar cookies and they just kind of give you this look like, ew, you know. I wanted to change that and have all these different flavors and this soft cookie that people enjoy. You know, not just something pretty to look at, but you also are like excited to eat it because it's delicious. So that's why I do 3/8 of an inch instead of a 1/4, because I just find that it stays softer in the middle while still being sturdy enough to do a lot of different things with. And no problem. Thank you for tuning in to watch. I love being able to do this and try to expand a little bit of these flavors. And I really am going to work on that carrot cake because that sounds delicious. So I flooded that one, and then I just did my 2 colors, a stripe on each side. And I'm just going to start in the middle and twirl, drag this toothpick through here all the way around. And when you get to these ones that have this where they're separated, just go through, give it a little shake, and there you have that really cool little twisty design on there. But see, I mean, I like I love the super highly decorated cookies. They're very cute. Oh, yes, the teeth too. Although this one fully covered in these sprinkles kind of ruins that idea. But the kids really like it. But yes, I wanted to give also, for the grown-ups. Grown-ups can have sugar cookies and love them. There's so many grown-up flavors you can do. And you don't have to spend 3 days decorating these. These are just some simple little designs. You're done, ready to go. Didn't take all the time in the world. Thank you. I'm still learning on the teaching part, but I love the feedback. So I'm just happy that you guys are enjoying this. Unless there's any more questions, that's really it. Oh, I was going to show you the tray. That's still really hot. But it was the second batch that I pulled out. Hey, they didn't spread. These are still cooling, but that first pan that I did earlier, okay, it's cool. See, they're sturdy enough to move. They're not fully cooled, but you move them onto a baking rack and let them fully cool. And they'll stay sturdy for you. I mean, this was the unbaked and the baked. Held their shape. Everything went well. All right, guys. We'll be doing another live. You watch them while working. Don't let me get you in any trouble, Kim. But I am glad that, like I said, you guys enjoy them. I will continue to do them. I'm going to work on that carrot cake one, and if you guys have any other videos you'd like me to do, even if they're cakes, baking, anything, I will help you guys out. That's what I'm here for. If you're not in my Facebook group, I know a lot of you are, but if you're not in my Facebook group, I'll put the link to that below also. I'll do one-on-one tutorials, troubleshooting. We also do a lot of business talk on pricing, things like that. But all right, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you later.